We are now here in Piapi National High School, and we're going to interview one of the most beautiful teachers here in the school. So she's been in the profession for almost 25 years, so to be specific, 22 years already. And we're going to ask her the questions that we prepared. So good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Okay, so can you please introduce yourself? Or
Good afternoon. I am Mrs. Between P. Ramos. I am teaching science, grade 8, senior high school, Earth and Land.
thank you, ma'am, for giving us a time, even though hectic and schedule. So thank you so much for that. Here's the first question, ma'am.
Without the technology, it's quite difficult. That's because we have to use the IMs and write everything, prepare everything using Manila paper, cartulinas, and everything to impart or to give some ideas from the student, to give them, in order them to learn their lesson.
Yes, so back then, ma'am, kuan siya no, like before, it's more on traditional jud ang atong way of teaching.
The IMs. For me, the IMs, it's because I'm not using with it na.
Okay.
So, the more on the kunting, the cartulina.
So wala na siya kayo karon. And na siya ng practice, more on technology na dyan ang good na.
Let's see.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
So before, although learners are diverse, more you have to focus on your lesson. That is all. You have to deliver it. Okay, this is it. This more dyan siya. While karon is you have to
Broaden up, like mas padaktan mo.
more, so you broaden. At the same time, you have to be more connecting. You think the capability of the student, since it's inclusive.
Insurance.
But as a teacher, although there are so many challenges before the pandemic, after the pandemic, still you have to face all the challenges with ways. So continue to serve as long as you enjoy serving.
Sakto din ang
Diba? It's because if you're not happy teaching, you're not effective teacher.
Kaya mo po na itong ipiling nga kung ano ang profession, so we must be responsible sa atong kwan. So thank you so much, ma'am, for your time and effort. Thank you so much. Okay, good afternoon again. So we're still here in Piapi National High School, and now we're going to interview one of the most beautiful teachers here in the school. So, okay, so please help me welcome Sir Kenneth Ongnet. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
So, I'm going to ask just 2 questions, sir, and there are just 2 pod nga pa and follow-up questions. So, first question is,
I think education today is way more advanced than before, especially to some schools na near the cityhood, because we are now more technologically advanced. So there are a lot of things that are now embedded in the teaching learning process, like the use of televisions, the use of projectors, the use of audio-visual materials, and then nowadays we can just search online on the topics that we have or that we need to discuss. No? So I guess that's a big difference between the traditional one and the new generation way of teaching.
okay, sir, so talking about the new ways of teaching, so
One of the strategies that I would say that is, no, not newly developed, but I am really new to it, is on the problem-based learning, wherein we provide problems based on the competencies provided therefore by the curriculum, and then we provide statements, and then we provide the task in which the students need to perform it. So it's a new strategy because if we're going to look at it, the 21st century framework is more on the critical thinking skill of our students, and problem-based learning to be embedded in a teaching learning process is quite a new style for students, because they are the ones to investigate, they are the ones to analyze what is provided for by the teacher, and they will be the one to be able to make a solution based on the problem set given by the teacher.
thank you, sir. For the second question, sir,
there is, no, when it comes to the behaviors and attitude of our students, there is a really big difference. Students nowadays are rudely misbehaving in the classroom. Some students have a short learning span. They tend to even roam around or loiter or get out from the classroom. When it comes to the curriculum, there is really a problem with the curriculum, I must say, because when whoever sits down as a Department of Education or secretary, there's always a change in the curriculum. But the problem is the change is so abrupt that when they wanted to change it, right away they change it. They don't consult the teacher if there's a need for us to somehow adapt with the new trend, adapt with the new curriculum. They just implement and implement and implement without asking the teachers facing, depending on who sits down as Department of Education Secretary.
Okay, so thank you, sir, for that. So last na lang, sir. As you're talking about changes and dealing with those constant changes in our society, and most especially as a teacher. So just an advice can you give to our future educators?
Well, there's no other possible means, I must say, on how we are going to adapt, but let's just be open-minded. Teachers do complain, but we still
It's worth it.
because that's part of our bread and butter. So for the new generations, the only thing that I could suggest is enter the classroom or enter the Department of Education or enter any educational field with open-mindedness, because that's how you are going to learn language if you are open-minded, because changes do really come unexpectedly.
Yes, because as teachers, we should be flexible enough to.
Flexible, versatile, adaptable.
Yes. Thank you, sir, for that. Thank you for your time. Together with me today is one of my friends. She is already 20 years old and is currently in her third year and taking BS Ed major in Filipino also. So please help me welcome Miss Maria Teresa Bautista. Good afternoon, Miss.
Yes, I have observed a difference behind the almost about that I am in college. So in my elementary years, we use cards, which is to specify multiplication number like 5 times 2 in the cards, and the when we have readings, we also use books. And way back in high school also, we use also books and visual aids and chalks like blackboards. We use writings and then put it in the notebooks. And now that I am in college, I have observed that we are more or less using the traditional one. But on the other hand, we use technologies such as laptops and the TV that have screen in our rooms. And we also use like canvas, PowerPoint presentation. That's all I have observed back in my years when I am more
In the traditional ways.
in a traditional way.
Is learning and teaching. So you can really observe no, so there is a change talaga in like the way the teachers teach and the way the learners learn. So as of now in the college, it's slowly the teachers are already integrating technology as for teaching, no, diba, as strategies also. So
For me, it is advantage as a student. And I don't know the other students, because I have heard that it is not the advantage of them, because some or more of the students have used this disadvantage area. So for me, it is the advantage because I have more the live in a comfortable learning style.
So you can really say na there are always differences, like there are always advantages and disadvantages, and it always depends on the student or the person who uses the specific thing, whether he's going to use the thing in a more advantageous way or more, in a different way.
So I use both sides. I use visuals, just like when I have to reach out for my classmates to do readings as a short story, a short motivations. So I use traditional way. While I'm on the teaching area, like my lesson plans will be integrated into computer, like Canva. I use Canva for short. So, and my lesson plan is through soft copy. So I use Microsoft, encode it rather than writing. It is more consuming it is more expensive.
Yeah, so thank you so much for your time and for your answers to our questions. And have a great day. Thank you so much, Basta.